Hey, what's up, guys? Just decided to come out for a nice little bike ride today. It's a beautiful day, a little bit chilly. We're in Nova Scotia, Canada, and this is one of the spots that I love to come on my bike. So, yeah, hopefully someone's watching this. And yeah, here to talk about a little bit about not drinking alcohol. It is the best thing that I've ever done in my life up to this point, really, because I feel like life has just started now. I used to do things like this and drink as well. I used to drink a lot of beer and go for rides, and I've talked a little bit about that in my other video and how that's just so not cool, and how this feels so much better not drinking and doing things that you love and enjoying them and having real feelings, real emotions about things that you love to do. And that's what it's all about. And if you're watching this, I would just implore you to do the same, you know? It's things like this that you get inspired to do after you stop drinking, you know? You actually have inspiration to do things. You have thoughts and, again, real emotions. And it's so much better when you don't have to worry about getting caught drinking when you're out riding, which is completely insane. I know, trust me. It's absolutely insane, but when you're in the fog of drinking, you think that's fun and that's cool, but it's absolutely not. And another thing that I've been thinking a lot about lately is how, you know, since alcohol is so ingrained in society, and how it is difficult not to drink, you know. I've been finding that out lately, you know, especially since I've been kind of recently sober, and it's taken me, well, it's been about, honestly, a little over a month that I've been completely sober. And it took that first couple of weeks of like completely not drinking to start to have those feelings again. I feel like it's the first 2 weeks, you know, you really struggle not to have that drink because it's in the back of your mind constantly. Let's go get a drink. Let's go get a beer. Let's have some more fun, you know. But you're still in that snowball state of having to chase, like, that is your fun. The drinking is your fun. The drinking is what gives you pleasure and those good emotions and feelings. But it's all a trick. It's all a trick that the alcohol plays on you and controls your mind. It controls who you are, you know? You feel like you have to be under the influence of alcohol in order to feel the right or feel good or be able to, you know, say the right things around people, to be able to, you know, have no holds barred, you know, just say what's on your mind and that sort of thing. But again, it's all a trick. It all is the alcohol speaking, making you think that you need that next drink the next day. And once you get over, especially that 2 week hump, I mean, I know it's different for everyone, you know, and it might be more difficult for more people. And for me, especially, the reasons that I'm not drinking are for my family. You know, that's the most important thing in life. I have 2 little children now, and they and my wife are the most important thing ever in my life. You know, it is the most important thing in life. And so that is a huge motivator, you know, for me not to drink. So that really helps, you know, having a huge motivator, a reason to stop drinking. And that was my big reason, you know. And I just have to focus on that and, you know, stay true to who I want to be, right? stay true to the person that I am when I'm not drinking, which is someone that is actually way more caring, that is actually way more thoughtful, because, just by not drinking, I talked in my other video about how I was a very sneaky drinker, I was hiding it from everyone, from my family, my immediate family and everyone around me. Obviously, like, most people drink when they're at like get-togethers and parties or whatever, but I would be drinking on my own outside of the house just to show or not to show how much that I was drinking. I was hiding it. I was sneaking around and drinking, and that's not who I want to be. Alcohol makes me that type of person, that is willing to do that, to just sneak off and have beers on my own and have that as a sense of enjoyment. But it's looking back on all that stuff, and which you will do, if you get sober, you'll look back on all the things that you used to do and you'll wonder, like, what was I doing? What was I doing? It's completely insane, completely ridiculous. You're not who you really are when you're on alcohol. The alcohol takes over. It makes you someone that you're not. No matter who you are, if you're a drinker and you're seeing this, you think, no, like, that's not me. Like, I just have more fun, when I drink. I just am an easier person to be around when I drink. I'm the life of the party, whatever it is. But it's all a trick. It's all a lie that you tell yourself, and that alcohol helps you tell yourself. Alcohol helps you tell yourself lies all the time. It makes you tell yourself lies. It makes you untrue to yourself. And, that's, again, those are thoughts that you start to have once you get out of the fog of alcohol and you're not letting it control your emotions and your brain, like, why do you want to be controlled by something that you have to pay for? Why do you want to live life that you have to pay for? It's actually insane when you just kind of sit back and look at it logically, which is hard to do when you're drinking. But when you get out of that, you really start to realize that all of that was for nothing, and all you did was waste your time and your thoughts and your emotions that just, they completely go down the drain, with drinking. It's not real life. You're not living a real life because you're, again, the thoughts and emotions that you have, they're clouded, that's not really you. It's you under the influence of alcohol, which is making you, a different person. And through that, you just become a fiend. You just want more alcohol to feel more of that same whatever feeling that it gives you. You just want more of that. It's the same as any other type of addict. You just become a slave to that substance, and which I very much was a slave to the beers. That was my drink of choice. And realizing now just that was all a waste of time. I thought I was having fun. I thought it was like a good time and, it made me feel good, but no, it ruins your health, it ruins your mind, it ruins your health, it ruins like who you are as a person. And that's not who I wanted to be. And so that was it. You have to come to the conclusion that, like, why do you want to pay to live life? Why do you want to pay money to live a certain way? It's just so much better, so much less expensive to not be drinking. And now you have time and money and real thoughts and emotions, like, to do other things and to pursue other passions in life, because your only passion when you're drinking is drinking. You might do some things that you like to do while you're drinking, but you're not really living that experience. You're not really having that experience because it's all clouded by alcohol and who it makes you while you're on alcohol. And so that's what really helped me to start to get past it. Or it's a daily battle, right? Like, you're always an alcoholic, right? I'm always an alcoholic, and I have to fight daily not to want to go and get those beers, because it does feel good. You know, it does feel really good. But once you realize, like, that's all a trick, and all, the demon of alcohol, I like to think of it as, all that's doing is controlling your mind to make you want more. It's like the definition of like a demon, like controlling your mind. And it's the worst kind, because not only is it not real experiences that you're having, it's it's all fake experiences, and it's a demon controlling your mind. And I want to be in control of my own mind. I want to live a real life where I experience the real feelings and emotions of life. And that is the blessing, that is the blessing of life, is to have those real thoughts and emotions, and not try to drown out your anxiety or bad thoughts or whatever it is with alcohol, because that's absolutely like what you're doing if you're drinking. I know that was for me, and again, like the tricks that you play on your own mind, thinking that, oh, this is just fun and it's a good time and I'm not doing any harm, like I'm not hurting anyone by doing this, but you're hurting yourself, and that's the most devastating thing, is to hurt your own self, your own soul, your spirit, however you want to think about it, your own energy. You're affecting yourself, most importantly. And that's something that I realized that I don't want to do anymore. I don't want to do that to myself. And you are inevitably affecting everyone else around you as well when you're drinking all the time. Even if you don't think you are, you are. There's no question that you are. And you just have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth living this life that I have to pay for just to get this like little bit of fun feeling, that I'm just going to chase again, like tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And yeah, when you just kind of come to that, like logically, it's like, why would you ever want to do that? Why would you ever want to pay for life? And then you start to get a sense of yourself back, after, like I said, it was probably like a couple of weeks, completely sober. And then you start to get your mind back. It takes a bit. And that's the hard part. The initial, like, couple weeks especially, is going without the alcohol, coming to that logical conclusion and deciding you're not going to do it anymore. And deciding every minute of the day you're not going to do it. No, I'm not going to go get that drink, because I know what it's doing to me. I know that it's making me a different person inside and outside. And once you get past that hump, it becomes a lot easier. It becomes easier every day to reinforce the fact that, no, this is my new life. Like, I don't need alcohol, and this is the way I want to live. This is the way I want to show up and be here for my family, my friends, like my true self. That's who I want to be. And you're just not your true self if you're drinking all the time. You're just not. It's controlling you, no matter what you might think or feel. Like, alcohol absolutely controls you. Even if you're like a weekend drinker, binge drinker, it's controlling your mind. It's you need that to feel good about yourself, about life, about whatever. It's like you're outsourcing life for this feeling that you have to pay for. And yeah, I just realized that that's not the way I want to live anymore. And I want to do stuff like this, sober, and remember it all, and feel again, feel real life. That's what it's all about. We're here to live this life and to experience it fully, and not to be clouded, by a substance, whatever that may be, Obviously for me, it was alcohol. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of jump on here quick today and just kind of get that off my chest, really. That's what I'll be doing on these videos, and hopefully, you guys want to hear some more of that and stick around. And yeah, ask me any questions, anything you want to know about my journey or whatever, like with alcohol and getting over it. Like, please comment, ask me anything, comment anything, and I'll get back to you. Just starting out here on YouTube, and it's super fun. It's just kind of fun to get on camera and talk about stuff, and learn about other people's experiences with it too. So thanks for watching, if you watched till this far, and appreciate it. Appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, peace.